Started. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the We Leadership interview series. And this one is a special series on We Global Employees Choice Workplace winners. And today we have with us Mr. Shailen Merchant. It's my pleasure to introduce him, a highly experienced human resource leader with a proven track record in building and nurturing high performing teams. Shailen is Senior Vice President and Head of Human Resources for Chola MS General Insurance Company. He has played a pivotal role in shaping their HR strategy and fostering a positive work environment to drive revenue growth. Shailen has rich cross-functional experience in the field of production, quality management, business development, marketing, communication, human resource management over the past 35 years. Apart from Murugappa Group, Shailen has worked briefly with Royal Sundaram and Low Lynchars. Shailen has tried his hands at an entrepreneurial stint as well in the telecom sector. So we have a very multifaceted, shall I say, business personality with us rather than just an HR leader. And with a well-rounded, well-groomed CXO, I'm sure our audience will be able to learn a lot more, and we could probably pick his brains beyond HR and how his experience in business and communication and PR has impacted in creating an employee's choice workplace at MS Chola, and obviously know what goes into creating a employee's choice CHRO, which would be of interest to a lot of our HR brethren also. And we're going to discuss all of this. Welcome, Shailen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prashantji. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak to you over this call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot. Uh, what do you think you did differently to be employee's choice workplace?
Okay. So let me begin by just sharing a bit about the company itself, the organization. Chola MS is 22 years old as we speak. This year we celebrate 22 years. Uh, we have two parents. The Murugappa Group is the larger holding, and the joint venture partner is Mitsui Sumitomo of Japan. And both the organizations have a very strong foundation of values. And I think that's a very, very important aspect for the way this entire initiative has been taken. In both organizations, we believe in building long-term associations with our employees. And one process that we adopt at Chola MS is that we have this culture of openness, and that comes through what we call as the T3. T3 is nothing but trust, transparency, and technology. Building trust with the employees leads to them being open without any fear of any repercussion when they give you the feedback. I think when we look at our scores of 75% with 86% participation, I think that's the key. People have come forth to speak because they know that they can voice their concerns, voice their apprehensions, voice what they're happy with, and be assured that their voices will be heard. In fact, the branding of our survey itself was voices. And as a culture, what has happened is we've been doing this over many years now at the group. We have been following this process of engagement surveys. And then what we do is once we take the actions, we go back with the dipstick survey to see the impact of the actions. So it's something that's been built in. Even in COVID times, when we had not done a full-fledged survey, what we were running were pulse surveys to look at specific HR policies, specific processes that needed to be addressed, and then take an action on that. We run a series of initiatives. One of them is called Sampark. Sampark is a session where we actually do a call with the specific business vertical. And there we have the business leader, the HR team, and then the supporting teams also present. And where employees can come forth and voice their concern and talk about things that they would like addressed. HR plays the facilitator role. And then we take down the action points that emanate from this, ensure that's closed by the stakeholders responsible. And then close the loop with the employee saying, this was the concern you raised, this is the action taken, and thereby this is the closure that's happened. So it gives the sense of closure in the mind of the employees. I think all this together, helps us in driving this initiative forward. And just as a top of mind, that's what comes to mind. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. This is fantastic. The trust, transparency, and technology is a formidable combination. And the kind of trust that you have been able to create in your organization is exemplary, which is demonstrated by the results of the uh, survey that have come up. Uh, this is clearly taking us to the next level. And my next question, therefore, is that what uh, one, how does it feel to be the employee's choice CHRO? And what uh, traits of your personality or experience or skills led to your employees choosing you as their choice?
First of all, I feel humbled. I feel humbled for getting this recognition. And I must thank all of you at W.E Matter, especially the leadership team, for having bestowed this honor upon me. And thank you very much for the same. Uh, it was
You're
not
most
expected.
welcome. You're most welcome.
Yeah, I had
Uh,
not expected this award or this recognition. We have not participated in the engagement survey for any of these recognitions. Our
Absolutely.
sole objective has been to kind of, we discussed this at the leadership team and we said we need to run a full-fledged survey like we were doing in the past. We had taken a pause, as I said. So we said we need to take this across. And when we formulated the questions, We Matters put forth the questionnaire, we added some questions to it. And even our CEO sat with us and then brought in some of the questions that he said, let's sense out what the employees feel about this, around this. So these are things that came. So I think the entire leadership team coming together and owning this process is a critical aspect. And I don't think the credit lies at one person's table or to one person's credit alone. It's a teamwork. It's a team effort. The entire BGMC, our Business Group Management Committee, have taken ownership. They've sat through the presentation. They have actually driven this at their particular business verticals. They own the process. I think that's very critical to success first. As I had mentioned earlier, that the group has been having this practice of, running surveys continuously. So what has happened is there is a process set around this. So we did, once the survey results came in, of course, the platform that you have is excellent because we could slice and dice the data the way we could look at the information and take some insights, and your team was very good in helping us facilitate that. After this, we ran a series of focus group discussions, again with the support of V Matters for our HO, and then across the regions with our own teams. So the idea was to take some of those areas of concern voiced by certain teams or pockets of employees and see what are these specific areas that are coming out. So the approach we took there in the focus groups were start, stop, continue. What are the practices or policies that you would like us to start, stop, continue? And that threw up a lot of interesting things. And actually, it was very granular also. So that helped us to start focusing on action points with specific timelines and agendas to bring it to closure and then bring it back to the employees. Fortunately, we had already initiated some of this. For example, our travel policy. A travel policy was an area of concern for the employees because travel has increased. And we had already revisited that, brought in benchmarks with competition, with other companies, etc. So that was a change that happened. Then we have a business-related expense policy. So we revisited that in terms of how employees get reimbursed for their local communication, travel, etc. So these are just some case in points that came up. But there were some specific action points involving a larger team in a region that came up. So that's again something which my colleagues from the HR team from regions all participated in. I think that's something over the years, the employees have seen that if management makes a commitment, then they stick with it. So that trust level that we spoke about in the T3, that is built over years. It's not something that's happened here, and it's not only one individual. It's a series of leadership that has come in, that has contributed to it. And that's what has helped us to make it a successful initiative.
Thank you very much. This is absolutely great input. How to build a sustainable organization, because getting quick success is difficult, and getting quick limelight and quick valuation is difficult. But building an organization that is sustainable and that will last for 100 years is very, very difficult. So I think the path that you and other colleagues in your leadership team have chosen is the very, very difficult path of creating a highly sustainable organization, which is very clear. Uh, what is the purpose of Chola MS? Why does Chola MS exist? Because all those who built a very sustainable organization usually have a purpose at the center of everything.
Right. As you know, we are in the business of insurance, and insurance is a promise to the customer. And the promise is that we will, put them back on their feet the way they were before the risk happened or occurred. And that's the whole idea, that we will be there for the customer at the time of need, and we will be there to support our customer base very, very strongly. So that's one large purpose of the organization that exists.
So, talking about insurance, so that's fantastic. So that's a very, very, very solemn purpose, and that really must be quite inspirational for the employees and quite assuring for the customers. And that should, I mean, the employees and customers together must be building great value for shareholders. That is quite a unique purpose. Now, talking of insurance industry, the whole BFSI, banking, financial services, and insurance, is facing a huge amount of attrition
Right,
for the last 2 years.
right.
Uh, how have you ensured to reduce the attrition rate or improve the retention of employees in an industry which is going a little uh, berserk?
Uh, So I must share with you that we also have a fair share of attrition, but it is in certain roles, like the frontline sales does see a lot of churn that happens. However, I must also, hasten to add that about 30% of our employees have been with us for more than 5 years. Okay, and
Wow.
that would, yeah. So what we do is every year we celebrate a long service award on our annual day, and we recognize these employees who complete 5, 10, 15, 20. Now 20 is the last number because we have completed 22. And very soon we should be hitting the 25 years mark too. And we have employees across the spectrum. So 30% are more than 5 years. That means from 5 to 20, and about 10% are in the bracket of over 10 years, right? So I think that's one measure for us, that yes, people are happy working here and people are happy working for Chola MS. When we look at the survey and the results that came out and we heard the voice of the employee, one thing the employee told us is that they are very happy because it's a safe work environment. So I think that's one factor, the factor that the organization is safe to work for. And we have women employees. We have also taken a lot of initiatives on even things like road safety. Okay, so if I may say, because most of our field force is out on the roads, we have taken initiatives to make sure that we have employee champions who are volunteers working with the branches in which they are to promote the culture of safety. So that's one place. I think also they have a sense of job security, that yes, while there is pressure for performance, they know that if they perform, they have a career ahead of them. So providing career opportunities is the second thing that was mentioned by our employees. The third and more important one is the approachability of the leadership team. So the leadership team that we have can be accessed or approached by any employee, whether it's in the regions or at HO. And I think that's a great reason for people to be comfortable with this thing. So what we do here is that they like the work atmosphere, they like the work culture. We are people centric, and I think these are all factors that help us to retain our people and nurture. See, we must also recognize that these employees have invested their careers with us. And I would use the word invested because they have chosen to be here and not change to a competitor at a higher salary, right? Because they feel that they will derive benefit out of working here. So that's it. And in fact, I even have some employees in Chola MS currently who are second generation Murgappa Group employees. Okay, that's again something very unique, if I may say, because their parents have worked in another group company, Chennai centric, and they don't mind working that their sons or daughters continuing working for the group. And I think these are all bonds and connects that occur over a period of time, and all those moments of truth that have happened over a period of time.
Absolutely great, and that humane approach to managing people and managing business certainly ensures that you, you retain employees and you improve their productivity. And how has this retention and productivity enhancement through employee engagement impacted the revenue growth?
So Touchwood, we have been growing well. Last year we've seen over 20% of growth. Industry has also been growing well, and the gross written premium that we have earned is about more than a little over 7,500 crores last year. Compared to what we had done in 2021, we had touched about 4,400 crores. So the growth is there for everyone to see. The company is growing, and I think that only comes because we firmly believe that an engaged employee is a highly productive employee. If you like doing what you do, if you enjoy doing what you do, you don't feel the pressure of work. You do it because you want to do it or you like doing what you're doing. And that translates into productivity, it translates into revenue growth, it translates into profitability and also well-being for the employees.
That is absolutely great. Have you seen any difference on sales target achievement between different branches based on also differences in the engagement levels in different branches?
So what we have seen is, yes, the markets being different. If I take a market like Bombay or Delhi, these are markets that are very strong on the BFSI side. So obviously the production will be higher there. If I take a smaller town, a tier two or a tier three town, obviously the revenue growth will be lesser there. However, what we have seen is that productivity across lines, at least at a certain minimum level that we expect, has been maintained. And yes, across the board, we have found a fair uniform productivity across channels, across this thing. So we have put those measures in place. We monitor this very closely, month on month. It's monitored, and whatever support is required to bring that up is also extended. Yes, so I don't think there is much of difference. Yes, and those pockets that are highly engaged have shown very, very high productivity levels.
Thank you very much. What message would you like to give to young HR professionals?
Okay. Yeah. First of all, I would, encourage them to learn, especially being young. So there is a saying here in South. It says that Goddess Lakshmi always follows Goddess Saraswati. So don't chase the money. Join an organization or work for an organization where you will learn, because that's going to help you in the long term. And I think that's really my first message. The second is that as HR people, it's very similar to sales and marketing. In sales and marketing, we have the customer, external. In HR, we have a customer, internal employee. So we must put the employee in the center of the function. And of course, there has to be a lot of empathy that we need to show. The third lesson would be that please focus on the business that you operate in. Understand the levers of business, because if you don't, you will not make the impact you're expected to make. So the HR function, the team has to learn the levers of business, because once you understand the levers of business, you can contribute very, very differently. I think also HR as a function needs to be humble and open to feedback. We need to take feedback as it comes because that feedback will help us. Because at the end of day, just like the sales team and the marketing team listens to the employee's voice, I mean the customer's voice, we need to listen to our employee's voice and then see what needs to be tweaked. And we should always respect our stakeholders, whether internal or external. And last and not the least, be passionate about what we do. If you enjoy being in the HR function, you will make a great career out of it. I think it's important that we enjoy the work. Without that, it's difficult to kind of, otherwise it becomes, okay, it's just a routine job. So I think it's important that we are passionate about what we do. And I think that will take you places.
That's so nice, and so effective message. And I'm sure the youngsters are going to benefit from it. Uh, how did V Matter help you in engaging people and driving revenue growth?
Sure. So of course, as I said, I'd mentioned earlier also that the platform is very nice. What in the past we had to do is we had to look at the data differently and look at it. But whereas the VMatter platform helped us to take different data cuts. And thanks to the guidance from your team, we were able to do that, identify the areas of concern, areas that have done well, and bring those areas of concern to forefront. And then, of course, when we wanted to do the focus group discussion, we leant back on the VMatter team, and they put us in touch with a set of professionals in Chennai, around Chennai, to help us with those focus group discussions. And that helped us because once that ball started rolling, the rest of the focus groups happened. And then, of course, the scorecards that were distributed to the managers, to the leaders, because then it brought about a sharper focus on their own specific verticals or, teams. So these are things that helped us to kind of take things forward. Even now, we want to run a small survey. We've reached out to V Matters because it's a tested model, and we thought it's a great platform. Our employees are used to it.
Thank you
We
very
should
much.
just take it forward. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And what are the three words that you would use to describe V Matter?
So what comes to mind is it's very comprehensive. As I said, everything is on the platform. We don't have to go outside anywhere. The other word I would use is supportive because whenever we called, whether it was to Pankaj or to Saurabh or to yourself, you'll have always been there to come forth and help us with our request. So the team is very, very supportive. And then the speed at which things get done after that. I guess the action orientation, I think that is there with the VMatters team and it's very fast. So thank you. I think these three words would be what would come to top of mind: comprehensive, supportive, and action oriented.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. With this, respecting the time, I would love to continue to talk to Shailen, but respecting the time, we will have to close the interview. And I'm sure that all of you will benefit greatly from Shailen's experiences and what he and his peers have done at MS Chola, and also his advice, which is very, very valuable. And I think I'm also going to take it and implement and benefit from it. Look forward to continue to work with you, Shalin and
Sure.
Chola MS.
Thank you. We
And
do
thank
too.
you very much for your time. This was wonderful. Thanks, everyone. Thank
Thank you.
you.